everybody. So I'm back for another review of Love After Lockup, Season 5, Episode 35. True or false? If you're watching this, please be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. Thank you to all of you who already have. All right, so let's get to it. I'm just going to start with True and Shantae. Shantae, I'm trying, hon. I really am. I really am with you. All right, so we get True at the gym, and he meets up with his sister's friend. Okay, so the friend's name, which I didn't expect for us to even get an interview with her, but anyway, is Tisha, but she prefers to be called Shantae with an A and an E. I said, say what now? Is this because she's in competition with the real Shantae? Or he gave her the nickname so they wouldn't get mixed up? I don't know. So what would motivate you to introduce, and I'm talking about, what's his sister's name? Angelique, I think, or Angelique, I think. What would motivate you to introduce your friend, your best friend, to your brother in jail? Or for you, Tisha Shantae, to talk to someone in jail? Anyway, and I guess we could ask that question for a lot of people, but seeing that you're willing to kind of play this side chick role to, of all people, somebody who is unemployed, unprepared, and unworthy, Anyway, all right, so True said Tisha fell off in talking to him and left for some other dude. I have no sympathy for you. Anyway, duh. So then he's questioning her about loyalty while cheating on Shantae, okay, from jail. He had all in pictures. You know he was talking to other girls. The hell with you, all right? I'd be damned, Tisha Shantae, if I explain myself to a freeloader, all right? You better have some internet business, some e-commerce, something you trying to sell to the country, okay, or trying to promote, as your reason for being on here looking stupid. Okay? Okay. So Tisha wants their relationship to go past a friendship. And he said, well, I'm in a relationship and she stuck with me for 2 years while I was in jail. This chick is basically saying that just because she had your back when you were caged in. First of all, that language always bothers me. I know jail could be like a cage, but for some reason, because black people are disproportionately locked, I just don't like it. Anyway, doesn't mean you are going to get the same energy once you're home. Bitch, he only been out 3 days. Are you seriously, Tisha Shantae, okay, trying to steal a man that is barely, not even a full 4 days out of jail, not even 5 business days, and dogging out Shantae, who you don't know, and essentially begging him to get with you? I said... Please tell me that you have more respect for yourself. But I know you don't. I know you don't. So I already know what I'm asking. But anyway, any person who wants to dog somebody out like that, particularly another woman in a relationship and you don't know them, is whack, is an untrustworthy person. And maybe she feels like she can talk about Shantae that way because his sister has been telling her all of his business, or the business that she does know, because she just doesn't like Shantae. And I'm sitting up here like, why is she wearing, the part that really got me was, why is she wearing beads in her hair in her late 30s, it looks like. The same ones we were wearing our hair in like the 3rd grade, like, and the same ones you would use to practice on your Kenya doll. I don't know if y'all had a Kenya doll, but Kenya doll was everything. Where you learned how to braid and you put like the plastic kind, not the like, you know, the seashell kind or the wooden kind once you're grown. That was just distracting to me. And it wasn't all over her head either. It just looked like, what? Anyway, so we get back to Shantae. Shantae is mad, okay? She said she's hurt, all right? So she said he acted like he had this bad relationship with his family, but now he's spending all his time with them. That can go both ways. A toxic family can always draw you back in, but also it could have been a source of manipulation. But considering the way his mama and his sister move, it tells me that he probably does, but that kind of nasty family dynamic is they just don't want him to be with somebody who appears to care for him more than they do, because then it exposes them. Anyway, so she's going back home. Good. All right, good. Go and keep going, Shantae. But we know how this goes. So his sister is a bitch. Like, I don't understand why they dislike Shantae so much. Okay, you don't have to agree with, but Shantae don't do nothing to nobody for all of this. So his first speech after changing his clothes, why did I say his speech? Because it feels like he's like trying to lecture her. Well, we know you don't know nothing. Anyway, his first speech after changing his clothes, and he was like, I ain't feeling it. And he starts badgering her about the way she feels, but not like to ask her necessarily how she feels, to explain why he's not wrong. And I can't stand people like that. And he says, I don't want you to think I used you. And I was thinking to myself, well, where did that come from? She didn't say that. So he starts handing her money, like he's paying her back. I was like, this woman done said she done spent tens of thousands of dollars on you, and that's where you messed up. Because the fact that Shantae could even save that kind of money, that's not in her retirement fund per se, you know, like the kind like you may automatically get. I don't know how everybody else's job works, but they kind of have, like, as a teacher, you like it. I have it automatically taken out, and it sits somewhere until retirement. Not somewhere, but whatever. The fact that you just had that is mind blowing to me. Anyway, women have a tendency to be doing better before they get caught up in this shit. Okay. Sorry, I just had this little feeling of nausea. Anyway, so Shantae, no, he started telling her money about paying her back $1,000, and that was supposed to be his down payment for his car. So why you trying to act like, oh no, I got it. Yeah, you got it for a car, dummy, and you don't have no job. So I knew he didn't have no money like that, but whatever. So Shantae is crying, she's upset, she's packing, and this turtle-faced fat fuck, okay, follows her into the bathroom, not to check on her, not to comfort her again, okay, but to continue blaming and gaslighting her when he's created a situation that hurts her. You've been gone all day. Why are you acting like she's overreacting? He's saying he feels like she tricked him. What? Well, if she tricked you, you can go and stay with your sister. Your sister's right there. You ain't locked inside no Airbnb that she paying for. If anybody got played, it was her. Now, granted, we knew this, but you know. So he's saying, whatever. He's still tripping about her not coming to visit him. If it was that big of a deal, then why were you fucking with her at all? And I know that's not the first time I've said that, but if it was that big of a deal, you had 2 years to say, this is not the kind of shit I want. So miss me. All right. He said she used him for this time. No, he said, oh, well, I feel like you used me. Followed her out to the car. First of all, as soon as I slammed that door, I would have locked my door. Okay. He wouldn't have been opening up the door on me, or I would have pulled off, hoping to run over his. I'm sorry. Anyway, he was like, well, you used me. She was like, I used you. And he was like, yeah, for my time. Bruh, you were in jail. All you had was time. Okay? And for him to build her up, I said, build me up? Fuck you. It was given 50 Cent's, what, second album? I'm embarrassed I know that, because 50 Cent get on my last damn nerve. Build you up. I don't even know where that came from. I forgot I even knew that song. Anyway, so if I was her, I'd tell the Airbnb people I left, and there's a trespasser in there, and because y'all own the house, I figured I'd let y'all know, but I was feeling very unsafe. He called his sister and said he broke up with Shantae. I was like, did you? Or did you not? Because it kind of seemed mutual at that point. At the point in which she packed her clothes. But he did start it and basically dogged her out. But he was the one still staying there. Anyway, so she's on the phone. Shantae pulls over. I was thinking to myself, yeah, you can't drive like that. You need to find like a empty parking lot or some shit like that and just sit for a second. She's on the phone crying to her brother and breaking down and saying how she felt stupid. And I was like, I can imagine you do. And I think it's humiliating. And I think it's humiliating on TV. I think it's humiliating that this will be on tape. I think it's humiliating to go back home to everybody who knows. And the general spirit is I told you so. And you don't want your kids to look at you and judge you. Shantae, you are young. You are 35. You have the rest of your life. You've already given birth and had kids that are practically grown. You have 2 grandkids, even though it's very young in your life. You have plenty of time to find somebody. And regardless of what anybody tells you, you're a good catch. You have a good heart, and you made a mistake. And it seems like right now what you need to work on is your self-esteem and understanding that you deserve better, and you should set a standard for better. And it's just a cautionary tale. Now, granted, I know some of you are like, we've been watching these cautionary tales for years. Nevertheless, all right. Shantae, I think you're too smart for this. I actually do. And I don't say that about people often, but for Shantae, and I know. I'm not going to fight nobody who says, oh no, she's stupid, she did it. I'm not going to fight you. I just, for some reason, and it may decrease over time, but for some reason, I have a lot of compassion for Shantae. I really do think this is a self-esteem thing. I think she could really do good things, and I think whoever that fucking snitch was at her job, you need to see him for it. But no, then you be on. Never mind. Excuse me. All right. So let's see who to do next. So Julian and Christine. Okay. The odd couple. All right. Christine, have you checked the back of his trunk to make sure ain't no dead bodies back there? Because he just gives me that khaki pant wearing, hey, how you doing? And the next thing you know, random stop, they open it up and it's just a bunch of women's dead bodies. I know he just gives that. I'm not saying he does that, but I'm just saying just check. Anyway, we don't need to know how many times y'all have had sex. We don't. Christine, I don't think being on a reality show, I know it probably will help money in your pocket and maybe pay for lawyers, is going to help you get your kids back. Looking at her, watching her on TV is hard. And it's hard because you can tell she's been on drugs and been on hard drugs. And I believe her when she says she's missing her kids and things like that. I don't necessarily know completely what it is to have people dealing with opioids. But I do try to avoid making fun of people with drug addictions, quite frankly, because I do know of enough people that dealt with it. Although the people I know did not receive that same compassion in the justice system, in, opportunities for rehab and things like that. But sometimes life gets you. When I say something got you, it's the pain, it's the disappointment. This seemed to be the only escape. And the reason why I tread lightly is because I was raised to be more compassionate in that regard. But also because I know these kind of things can happen to anybody. They can happen to anybody. So I'm not trying to, I want to be clear before, Anyway, he was like, look, I want my family to be your family, this and the other. She asked if he told his family that she's been in prison. Baby, it won't take them long to figure out. I told you he's using her for research for his novel. She thinks he's ashamed that she's a felon. Probably not ashamed to be with you despite you're a felon, but certainly ashamed to go back to his very religious family and tell them. All right, so she got her hair done. I was like, okay, good for you. They charged that white woman $195 for some blonde dye and a few curls. I said bye. First of all, that hair ain't even hard enough for no hairstylist to be charging that much. Get out of here. Anyway, so her and her mom have a bad relationship, and she's worried about being triggered. And she was one of those people who got opioids for a health issue, scoliosis or something, and she had more pills than pain. Meanwhile, doctors don't even believe us when we're in pain. Right. Her mom, it's an opioid crisis. It was the crack epidemic. Anyway, so her mom has to go and take some responsibility, as far as I'm concerned, for the kind of life her daughter got caught up in, especially since you were not present in those very, very formative years. And it took her out the situation, and basically was mad at her for wanting to stay with people who had taken care of her. You're toxic too. All right? So looking at those old pics, those drugs did do a number on her. Now, let's move on to Letitia and Keith. Letitia. Now, this is somebody I just cannot. I don't see it for her. I don't like her. Not even so much, I don't like hate her, but I'm just like, I don't have the compassion. Letitia, you need a lawyer, not a fucking paralegal. I explained to y'all before, you call a doctor for a reason. You don't call in a nurse to do surgery. You call a lawyer for a reason, and a paralegal for a reason. All right, so his public defender filed a motion to withdraw from his case. All right, you mean to tell me your man has a public defender as an attorney, and you spent all this money on other shit? Like, what the fuck? We already know your priorities and values are off by the way you keep ignoring your teenage daughter, who does seem to exemplify the symptoms of depression. Anyway, Ben acts like a scammer. I think he is one. He's all quiet, and the way his mouth is crooked, I was like, nah, baby. So she said she did some research and found out that her paralegal was in federal prison. I said, I thought I would die when she said, I was like, girl, I'm sorry, you deserve what you get at this point. So you didn't Google this before you hired this motherfucker? So you got one of those people who think because they've been in trouble, they can tell you how to get out. I said, say what? It's like somebody, because they've been on drugs, can tell you how to get off. You think because you've been to school, you can teach school? Because you've been to the doctor, you are now able to perform surgery? That is the most asinine thing. And she was like, well, is that wrong being in federal prison? I just need you to be transparent. The fucking ain't. Girl, I cannot. And look, we all know that public defenders are overworked, underpaid, certainly by legal standards. And some of them don't care. Some of them don't. But many of them do. And because I've had people in my family who are public defenders, friends who are public defenders, I know people who do that kind of law on purpose, and it's because they care. And it wasn't that they couldn't make money in other forms of law. It's really because they believe in the cause. So I don't want to do that to the point, because I know how people misrepresent teachers. Oh, they just do it for the money. Well, what the hell else anybody does work for? But I'm just saying I just like to put that out there. However, you saying the public defender isn't going to do it? The public defender is the most credentialed out of most because they have to be. Okay? This is how it goes. You being a paralegal is not an appropriate substitute. A proper substitute, Letitia, would be hiring a private attorney as opposed to a public defender. Well, know why? Because they're both attorneys, and a private attorney, you pay more for the kind of time your case needs. Paralegals can't do that work without a supervising actual attorney, because too many people, even that depends on the state, if you can do anything legally. The public defender probably withdrew because there were too many people involved in this case, and it was his or her case. So, and we're filing the wrong paperwork at that. That can fuck up his credentials, how his cases are viewed. His or her cases are viewed, their cases are viewed in the future, and what kind of lawyer they're considered to be. So, and they have other people to defend. They don't have time for this fuck shit. So Ben was recommended by another prisoner to keep. This is the problem with this. If, in case, I'm going to give everybody a second to think about this. All right? Ben was recommended by another prisoner to Keith. He's running a scam, idiot. That prisoner is probably getting a kickback for telling people, yeah, the paralegal could do this for that. Oh my gosh. He's a liar. This man does not know what he's doing. He cannot handle the case exclusively. And Letitia is like, well, he sounded like he knew what he was talking about. No, people like that sound smart to dumb people. I'm not here for it. I'm not here for it. So after all this, Letitia goes to hang out with her friend in that terrible cheetah print outfit. Letitia, please learn how to dress more appropriately. Yep, more appropriately. Anyway, I guess she's expecting all of us to feel sorry for her, telling his family he's coming home, and he's not, and she's embarrassed, and she's asking, goes to her friend, like, I'm trying to figure out if God is sending her a sign. The legal system is sending you a sign. Okay, that person defendant withdrawn from the case is sending you a sign. Y'all are married. You act like you have made this now official. You'd have to still draw up papers, which will cost. Her finances are going down. I said, duh. Let me tell you something. Letitia, your daughter better not have to pay a motherfucking dime to go to college. That money, I hope, is put away and locked away because you on some fuck shit. Anyway, Hope and Arthur. Okay. So he's visiting and hanging out with his mom. The second day of jail. Hope, pink-headed, poodle-headed Hope. It is inappropriate, darling, and wrong to try to come between a man and his mother. Period. And it was just given, this is some white people shit. Is her mother white? That will help it make sense to me. He has a lot of pain. All right, Arthur. From the fact that his mother had to work so much to take care of them, and he felt like he really missed that time with her. And that's not unusual. But in order to take care of her kids, you know, she's up here working 16 hours a day. And you can tell, like, the lack of emotion in her face to me did not come off as a lack of love or care. But it was clear to me she kind of had that hard exterior. Like, you know, while her son is crying, it wasn't that she didn't care. But I also felt like that is literally the way she's had to survive. Is to try to appear strong for everybody else. Because there's no way that didn't bother you. So, he has a lot of pain. He said it was hard for him to be without her. Sure it was. And especially the fact that he said, you know, his biological father wasn't involved, but the other kid's biological father, you know, was. So he said the day he got locked up, he said he was on the phone with his mother and she told him to come home and do his laundry. Which is something you would tell a boy that age, right? And he said he didn't. And he said if he would have just come home and listened, he would have never gone to jail. And I was just like, oh. That is so sad. And it's probably true. And I can't imagine how many times a day, how many nights that has haunted him. Like, one bad decision can really ruin your life. Maybe not forever, but it can certainly ruin a huge part of it. And he went to jail trying to help somebody else. My mother always said, don't you go to jail or get in trouble, hell, for yourself, but damn sure don't go to jail for anybody else. Jail is no place to be. So this was one of the realest moments I think I've seen on this show. Because you can tell that honesty, that pain, it was very real for him. And I really want to see Arthur do well. I do. And quite frankly, with a name like Arthur, you're supposed to do well. And no, seriously, you know, those kind of people just, you know, they're just, you know, good people. Arthur, baby, I don't say this often. Certainly not for the person who just got out. But you could do better than Hope. You find, especially if you when you get them tattoos off your forehead, you really be fine. You can do better than Hope. I usually don't say that about recently released people, but you can do better. He is torn between the two. Isn't that Latoya Luckett? Torn in between the two. Anyway, so he can. I don't know where these songs are coming from. These are songs I ain't heard in years. All right, so he came back around midnight for spending time with his mother. A mother has good instincts. A mother who's been a real mother, not a mother like Troy's mother. And she just doesn't think this is good for him. And seeing that he didn't listen to her last time he got in trouble, I know that has to be weighing on him. Hope is tripping. Did Hope text him? Did she call? Like, wasn't there something you could have done to communicate with him? I don't care. I don't feel sorry for you. Girl, bye. Bye, 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 bye. All right. Kim and Joey. Who didn't see this coming? So it's Christmas Day with her two little kids, neither one of which belongs to him. Just, setting the stage here. So he seems tired and slightly annoyed. Honestly, when kids are not yours at that age, there's a lot to get used to. Kim bought him an SUV so he would have a car to get around in to find a job. He needed a fucking SUV. Is that why you didn't have money like that for your kids' Christmas gifts? No, ma'am. Nope. Nope. Okay, so how do these people have credit lines like this? She's a fucking teacher's aide. She has a damn house and two kids. I don't care how small it is. I don't care if she had that is not a guarantee that you have a house just because you was married before. And she bought him a new fucking car, SUV, not a sedan, a gas guzzler at that, especially at this point. It's a gas guzzler just because, gas is high. And then she puts trackers in it so she can know where he is to make sure he's not doing what he's not supposed to do. Honey, you have a third child. And one you did not have to pay for. It won't stop anything. You can find out exactly where he is and he'll still do it. Whether it's using or cheating on you. So Joey left on Christmas Day. Like there are any places to go on Christmas Day except maybe a gas station and Chinese food restaurants. Especially in a place like Eden, North Carolina. Girl, what you give it to him for? He's already left me. You didn't have to give him that gift. You stupid. Anyway, Joey is stressed because stuff is hectic with the kids. They're not his. And he's not the father. And kids are a lot to adjust to. I agree. I mean, just babysitting my nieces when they was and it wasn't even like, a lot of times, like, I would be staying, like, at my sister's place and watching them. Or a lot of times because, so many of us, in terms of a family, it wasn't like they wouldn't be there. Like, my parents wouldn't be around. It wasn't like I was necessarily always doing it by myself. But even I was like, dang, this is a lot of work. And those are my nieces. Like, I love them. But I'm just saying, it used to wear me out. So I do know that's true. This is why, Kim, you thinking you can have an instant family with somebody like that was some whack shit. And where is he going in North Carolina on Christmas Day? Just, I don't care. I don't feel for you. Next. All right. The main event. Oh my gosh. I have so many thoughts and feelings. I probably won't express them all. But Zaria and Troy. Poor Troy. Poor Troy. He's coming back with his mother. Apparently he has a driver's license. Like I said, I just find it amazing that him, Joey, like, how do these people have licenses? Like, you move to another state and this, never mind. I'm just saying, I'm just curious. So why is she so nervous? Zaria, you're the one who sent your husband into the lion's den. You bought that woman a ticket and then sent him to go pick up his mother on his own. You created that situation. This chick kicked Zaria out of her house before. Girl, you are dumb. Okay? And it wasn't just simply, first of all, that's classless if somebody comes to visit you in another city. But also, we see by the way she behaves, you can't give people like that multiple chances. and the substance abuse and things like that. Okay, so did you see the way Karen said when they pulled up, all right, she was thinking to herself, she has money. She one of them kind of Negroes that will come into your house, steal your stuff, and then judge you about what you have and don't have. She one of them. I told you I could tell when she got off that train. I was like, where the hell is he? I could already tell what kind of person she was. So Troy has a daughter. She's like 7 years old. So Karen doesn't get along with Troy's baby moms. Surprise. That don't surprise me. She ain't raised him, but she got the most opinions about what he's doing and the people in his life. The person who didn't take care of nor raise her son is now judging the woman who had a baby with him and is raising their daughter by herself. I can't stand a hood rat like this, especially a hood rat in their 50s and 60s, the lack of maturity. There is just something that is in the core of who they are as a human being. They will always be a low life like that. Period. All right, get mad if you want. So I could tell what kind of person she was. So Karen is tripping. Karen is Troy's mother. Is tripping about his baby mother, not Zaria at the moment, his mom. And it seemed to really come out of nowhere, and it could have been editing, but look, all we can do is judge based on what we see. He's not feeding this to her. He's not saying these things about the baby mother, all right? She's doing this. She keeps calling her a bitch, and it's like, you know how somebody can joke and say the B word, and it's kind of like, no, that seemed very harsh, very intentional, very actively disrespectful, and I did not like it. Okay? Period. I actually think Zion and Zaria had an appropriate response originally by not engaging it. Especially her sister. Her sister was like, why does she keep talking about her? Although her sister seems to have more sense than her. So Zaria, you are dumb for not liking his baby's mother and making it so obvious you don't like her. Do you really expect this woman to let her baby go, who she's been raising by herself, and come and stay with y'all, and this is the way you feel about her? And now it's on TV. It's on tape. Even if it was something she would have originally probably forgiven, now everybody knows. Stupid. Anyway, this girl is getting dogged out. And nobody has said one thing that she's actually really done to anybody, other than the fact that she's in a relationship with another man. So, that's her child. And your son's been in prison. Nobody has that child's better interest than the child's mother. The mother who's raising her daughter. Karen, you can't speak to that. Anyway, so Yana, that's the baby mother's name, is the victim, okay? I don't care what y'all say. Nope. She gets sympathy here. So Zaria is insecure about her because of the way she got with Troy. That was your baby father's cellmate. What? That's why you insecure? Because you pull stunts in shows like that. So her son went to give her a hug goodnight, and this bitch said, don't mess up my hair. Her forehead is 3 inches sloping long, and she has braids. Girl, bye. And were you really sleeping in them bamboo earrings? I can't. So Zaria is mad because she felt like he was mad at Troy because she felt like he was defending his baby mother. Honestly, you should be glad he wasn't in there calling her a bitch and trashing her, because that says a lot about him as a man. I don't deal with men who call women the B word. And if they do, I should never ever fucking hear it. You don't ever get a chance to call me out of my name. Because let me tell you something, I don't know what goes up from there, but I do know it will go up from there. Even if it is another woman, it's not like, oh, it ain't me. That's stupid. And you dumb for being mad about that with your insecure ass. So he didn't call the mother of his child out of her name, which I personally have a lot of respect for. His mother doesn't like anybody. Why is she in their business? Her son just got out of jail. And we say just got out of jail. And her immediate go-to is not, how can I help you find a job, son? or support you, or how can we fix this relationship, but let me bitch about all this bullshit that has nothing to do with me, but your adult relationships that you're not even complaining to me about. What? Troy is very patient and has a good heart. Remember when I told y'all when he got out of jail? And I said, Troy looked like he was just a college student hanging on the corner. Troy can fix his life. He's one of those people who got caught up in some bad stuff, but I think he can be all right. I really do. Because I think he has what it takes. And I mean that in the sense of he's very, very patient. He knows how to act. You can tell whoever he was around, and as he bounced around, still gave him certain values. That's why he knows how to act. Anyway, so they're supposed to be going to church so their families can meet. Under normal circumstances, I would say, okay, there's nothing wrong with this. Not this one, not with that ghetto mama. The mama said to him, you grown, and I don't want to be in your business. This is the morning on their way to church. But don't forget you're the man, and they need to listen to you. I said, but bitch, you sitting up here telling him what to do in somebody else's house. He don't own nothing in there. He doesn't own anything. See, these kind of toxic people, I can't take it. So Zaria, like I said, we know she's insecure. Why is this woman, Karen, telling her son she has no panties? And that she took 2 gummies before going to church. What the fuck? I said she worse than Miss Wanda on Huntsville. She is like, she may be worse than Jim Jones' mama from Living. Like, whoa. So they're on their way to church. I was shocked to hear that they were Baptist because everything about them is giving Pentecostal. And honestly, it really is more Pentecostal. Her father is a bishop. Let me tell you, bishops don't belong in the Baptist church. That is not part of the structure of the Baptist church. The whole point of the Baptist church is why you have individual pastors, because we don't operate in districts like the African Methodist Episcopalian Church or the Episcopalian Church or the Catholic Church or even the Pentecostal Church. They have bishops because they're over certain districts, and then that's the way they organize their branches of Protestantism. When you hear a bishop in a Baptist church, just know it's scam. Somebody untrained. Eddie Long. Oh yeah, bishop, because bishop just sounds important. Y'all some dumb motherfuckers. Anyway, the mom is talking, still on the way to church, about when his father got married. And Troy's father got married, he was still screwing her. He was like, Ma, some of this stuff you just need to keep to yourself. Bitch, yeah, okay. So she's like, Zaria, they get to church, they sit on the front row. Zaria, please don't wear them green, furry, plastic sandals to church no more. But nevertheless, you were not the problem. She's like, my father has interactive style, and he's a different preacher. No, he ain't. He's on that same BS, trying to act like he's so down and just kind of like talking like people on the street and think that's going to bring people closer to Christ. Because the more churches have done that, the more church membership has declined in the past 10 or 15 years. Because then you have to stay up with street slang. I don't respect no preacher or pastor who carries himself like somebody off the street. That is not what I aspire to be. Now, I know I certainly got a lot of work to do, and I know better. I don't always do better. But this is for fun. I know where I'm at and where I'm not at, right? And I'm just like, I can tell you ain't been to seminary. I am not impressed. It was given real Keon Henderson. I'm just going to give a bunch of life points. I'm a guru, and then I'll just find some aspect of the Bible and then talk about people. This woman done called this man ghetto in the middle of service. You have no... But you know what? This ain't a surprise to me. Y'all shouldn't have brought her. She don't know how to act. Anyway. Ooh, Troy, I really have a lot of respect for you after this episode. And you actually above Arthur. You can do better. And I want better for you because you, Shantae, and Arthur, y'all can do better. And I want y'all to know that. Y'all ain't probably gonna never see this video. But I just want y'all to know I want better for y'all. And I really see, especially with Troy and Shantae, y'all have a good future ahead of y'all. If y'all can just focusing on yourself, and you're gonna be all right. All right. Anyway, I'll talk to y'all soon. Bye.